Welcome to Grow Guyana, a weekly journey into Ghana's agriculture sector, bringing you the stories and perspectives from the people that are shaping food security, climate-smart agriculture, and supporting livelihoods. I'm Ramona Luti, and this week we're taking you inside the expansion of Guyana's poultry sector and how local farmers are innovating to meet local demand. We also highlight new investments supporting farmers, from a modern agro-processing facility on the west bank of Demerara to rising onion production and expanding fruit cultivation aimed at strengthening the local market. This episode begins in the poultry industry, which is seeing strong growth driven by demand, investment, and a push for greater food security, according to a local farmer.
Ghana's layer poultry sector is expanding as farmers respond to a growing need for eggs across the country. The owner of Always Fresh Poultry Farms, Brian Smith, is sharing his story and why investing in layer birds is proven to be a viable venture.
It's a family business. I started in 2024, and I'm getting into my second year in June. Started with 1,000 birds, and then we keep expanding. I supply Banks DIH Trisco warehouse. The bakery at Banks DIH, I supply them. I supply Demico House Quick Serve, and supply Rakesh supermarket in Covanjan, and many of the local shops within the villages. I did meat board in the past. But meat board, it's a lot of work, and the risk is higher because meat board, they tend to contract certain diseases, and if you don't take the right precautions and the right care with them, you can find them dying on you. You wake up one morning and it lasts half of the pen. Layers is a better investment, is long term, so you have to be prepared for the long haul. So when you invest in layers, you have to understand that you have to get a good startup capital. The demand for eggs is very high. It's not really meeting demand, especially on the peak seasons like December, when everyone is baking, and when it comes to Mother's Day, Father's Day, and those. I treat the water. So the water comes from the main tank from outside. Is treated into the two other tanks, which are like control tanks that supplies to the pens. Because I use an automatic water system, so the birds will receive a flow of water continuously 24/7, 365, as long as water is in the tank.
As the sector expands, so too does the journey from production to consumers. The Grow Guyana team takes you inside how fresh eggs move from layer farms to supermarkets and homes across the country.
From backyard operations to larger commercial farms, producers are scaling up, investing in more birds, better housing, and improved systems to increase production.
Typical day on the farm is that when you arrive in the morning, the first thing you do, you check the water, the source, the barrels, to ensure that the water is flowing. And after that, you check your sanitation, because we have sanitation bowls for each pen. So you ensure you clean up the sanitation area, you put fresh water, disinfectant, before you enter into the pens. As you enter the pens, you check for casualties. If there are any mortality, there are any death during the night, you check for that. And when that is clear, then you move towards feeding. You check the feed, but we don't often necessarily feed mornings. Our feeding time is in the afternoon. After that is collection of eggs and prepare them for the market. Yeah, the eggs are laid in an egg box and roll out. But some of the birds are not laying in the egg box. Those that are laying outside of the box on the ground, some of them lay on the floor, and you just have to pick that up, and that will be dirty. You have to clean it. But there's an art in cleaning the eggs. You do not soak them in water. You do not make them too wet. You only use a damp, soft fabric. We have two forms of packaging, because currently we are doing the 30-hole tray. That's the trays in the paper tray. And that's for general supplies. But supplies to supermarkets and so on that they normally supply.
Behind that supply chain, innovation is playing a key role. New technologies are improving how layer birds are managed, boosting efficiency, increasing output, and maintaining healthier flocks. Josiah Williams reports.
As the sector expands, more farmers are considering cage farming systems, allowing for greater efficiency, better management, and increased egg production.
Because of lack of land space, I'm thinking of my expansion plan to be to reduce deep litter farming and go into cage. The cage is you can mind the birds in tiers, like 3 tiers in a cage, and you can set up the cages in such a way that one of the capacity, the flow capacity of each area can take about 3 times the amount of birds that a flow capacity will take for a deep litter production that we are doing right now.
With increased demand and continued investment, layer farming in Guyana is playing an important role in strengthening food security, one egg at a time. Back to you, Ramona.
Thank you, Josiah. From poultry, we turn to investment in infrastructure supporting farmers. A new $58 million agro-processing facility at Canal No. 1 polder is expected to significantly reduce post-harvest losses.
Here at Canal No. 1, the opening of a new agro-processing facility marks another step forward in Guyana's push to add value to its agricultural produce. What was once raw output leaving farms is being transformed right here, creating opportunities for farmers, entrepreneurs, and the wider economy.
In Canal here, polder, we are now harnessing the potential. And agro-processing, as we all know in Guyana, is not only about value added. It is about transforming the way we do things. It's about creating new opportunities. Too often, we are seeing around the country when farmers go to the market to sell their produce, especially fruits. And when the market finish and they don't have sales for certain fruits, they discard it. Now here, you could use this facility to do the solar drying so that you could preserve those fruits. This facility has the capacity to process 500 kilograms of fruits per day.
And it's not only about infrastructure, it's about access. We now take you inside the facility, which is presently available for farmers to utilize free of cost.
This facility here is a multi-purpose or multi-function facility, meaning that, let's say when you bring in the pineapple, we can do pineapple jam, we can do juice, we can do dehydrated pineapple, we can do the pulp. So, for example, let's say today we're going to do some dehydrated pineapple. So you will then peel the pineapple, and you will then slice it. And then I'm going to take you across to the dehydrator because I already prepared some here, as you can see. And then here we already have some slices of pineapple that we're currently drying. And so this is what it's going to look like. This is a juice filling machine. This can fill juice, it can fill jam, it can fill any sauce, right? And here we have so when you finish making your juice, when you place it in the bottle, this is to place the cap, to tighten the cap on it. And here we have, this here is the next piece of machine. And this machine is a very, very nice machine. It's multifunction. And so this would give you, usually when you see like the nut butter. So if I take the raw nut and put it in here, and when I turn it on and so on, it would crush the nut. And the nut will then turn into nut butter. So this is a very good machine. All the agro-processor will need to do is to just have the food and the certificate, because these facilities, as I explained to you earlier, that are countrywide, the government takes it upon itself to have food and drugs come and certify the facility. We not just help you in terms of processing, but we can also help you in terms of packaging, labeling, designing, because there's a department which we call the ABD department, which is the Agribusiness Development Unit. And that unit does a lot of work. And so we can even help you with getting your product out there and all. Then we have the Guyana shops.
For agro-processors, this could be a game changer. A local agro-processor shares how this development is expected to boost production and improve outcomes.
For many years, farmers have worked from sunrise to sunset, planting, nurturing, and harvesting crops that feed our nation. Yet, too often, we have faced challenges such as spoilage, low market prices, and limited access to value-added opportunities. Today, we take an important step towards changing that reality. This facility will allow us to convert raw produce into finished products with greater value. Instead of selling fresh fruits, vegetables, and other crops, we can now create dried products, packaged foods, and many other goods. This means less waste, better income for farmers, more jobs for our communities, and stronger economic growth for our country. For farmers, this facility represents hope.
From production to processing, developments like this are shaping the future of agriculture in Guyana, creating a more resilient and competitive industry. Back to you, Ramona.
Thank you, Josiah. Guyana is also making steady progress in reducing its reliance on imported crops. A successful onion pilot project in Region 9 is showing strong potential, with farmers now producing locally and even setting their sights on export markets. With a short growing period of just 3 months, onions are offering quicker returns and the opportunity for multiple harvests each year. Already, locally grown onions are reaching markets in Georgetown, cutting imports and keeping more value within the local economy. For farmers, it's more than just a harvest. It's a real opportunity to expand and strengthen national food security. Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa says this success is paving the way for further expansion, marking another step toward a more resilient and self-sufficient agriculture sector.
So what we'll be doing is the president instructed that I have the Ministry of Agriculture, we go into large scale now. The next crop, I am hoping that we can go into about 200 acres. This was just a pilot project of 4 acres when they started out. Now, we are hoping that the next crop, we can go into over 200 acres of onion cultivation. But we are seeing the interest around the country. Since this onion was harvested, and since the president was there and he did part of the harvesting, now other people in places like Region 2, Region 6, Region 5 are coming forward, and they want to get involved also. They express an interest of going into onion cultivation.
At the same time, farmers are tapping into opportunities in fruit production. With the global fruit and vegetable juice market being valued at approximately $300 billion in 2025, local producers are capitalizing on this demand by increasing production by thousands of fruit trees at a time. Josiah Williams visited Luluni Farms, Inc., and shares this story and how small surrounding farmers can also benefit.
This massive farm has 2,000 guava trees as well as the same amount in cherries, lemon, and lime. They're also embarking on other fruits, including 10,000 orange trees, 1,200 soursop trees, and 800 passion fruit plants.
Our model is a very big one, and one of the good things that we can potentially see is to have like satellite farming around our area, because if we're gonna, once we have our major facility for the processing, then other farmers who can't go into the hundreds or the thousands of acres, 5, 10 to 15, 20 acres, once there's a dedicated, pull from a factory standpoint to buying these raw materials, then it gives tremendous, benefit for smaller farmers to do.
But success in these regions depends heavily on adapting to the environment. That's why farmers in sandy areas like Luluni are developing specialized nutrient blends to improve soil fertility and maximize yields.
We're here at Luluni Farms, Inc. to discuss the development of crop-specific nutrients. Mr. Banke, tell us, how has this technology worked?
Yeah, how we utilize this technology is that we have been experimenting with different nutrients for different crops. And we come up with formulations that we find worked for better in different crops than conventional fertilizer. What you actually have to do out of the 40 nutrients that plant uses, you have to vary concentrations of specific nutrients for specific plants.
Yeah.
For example, in this guava, look how beautiful this guava is. It's firm, it has nice color, nice texture, it's very clean. So what you have to do here is that you have to at the bearing stage of these plants, you have to give them high concentration of calcium. They also use high concentration of magnesium because guava is known for magnesium. So what we also have is that we have a nutrient-dense fruit. So our fruits would have significantly much more nutrients than the normal fruits grown by farmers, because we emphasize specificity of the particular nutrient that can bring out the quality of the crop that you're looking at. So what we did, we developed a special plant nutrient with high levels of carbon content, which gives the microbes a home to live in. And then we add these plant nutrients that give it the food. And they have a home, they have food, and they convert that to plant food. And they give this guava. So you have a beautiful guava with all these new techniques and technology that we have added in the soil. We are able to bring out the quality that we are looking at.
And all of this ties into a broader global conversation. As the world marked Earth Day on April 22, the awareness and advocacy for environmental protection, sustainability, and action against climate change has increased. In Guyana, the agriculture drive is not only about feeding the nation and the region, it is about protecting the land, water, biodiversity, and climate systems that make food production possible. Through strategic investments and in policies, the government is supporting agriculture as a major part of the country's low-carbon development strategy. This has seen the expansion of climate-smart farming to reduce emissions and protect soils, improvement of drainage and irrigation systems to protect against floods and droughts, and implementing new plant varieties and livestock breeding programs to reduce pressure on the land and increase yields. Through these steps, Guyana is showcasing how a small country can lead the way by making agriculture part of the climate solution and embodying this year's theme, Our Power, Our Planet. And that's it for this edition of Grow Guyana, a weekly journey into the stories, people, and ideas driving the country's agricultural future. I'm Ramona Luti. Join us next week as we continue to track the growth, challenges, and opportunities shaping Guyana's agriculture sector.